In our next segment on the It's Not My Money series, we're going to talk about the one and only Walker Buehler. So Walker Buehler, of course, was World Series Walker Buehler. He did what he needed to do. He had 5 shutout innings as a starter, and then he finished the game to close it out, game 5, in a remarkable fashion with a ground out to third and 2 strikeouts. And maybe allegedly even getting flipped off by Austin Wells. Trying to figure if that was like a thumbs up or something else, but it looked like he was getting the bird. So hey, whatever. Um, Walker Buehler is a lifetime Dodger so far. I was there for his debut against the Rockies. He pitched in relief and didn't do well. He was not really that good in relief. When he was somebody they were looking at to possibly be in the bullpen in 2017, but that did not work out. And we'll get to Walker. Well, let's get to some stats. Just as I'm talking about that, let's go look at that. So in 2017, when he was brought up, and he'd been just outstanding and dynamic. But in 2017, you can see it up here. He pitched in 8 games with a 7.71 ERA, 9.1 innings pitched, 11 hits. Those are his times as he hasn't really done much relief since he did pitch relief in 1 game in 2018. That was it. And so Walker Buehler, he's a starter. He's not a reliever. And you can see that from 2018 to 2021, he was one of the best pitchers in baseball. If in 2021, I'd contend he was right up there for Cy Young Award. And then he got his arm blown out. And that was on the Dodgers. They should not have been starting him on short rest in the playoffs. I don't care if Max Scherzer couldn't go or whatever. You just don't do that to a pitcher like that, especially one who hasn't made his money. Now, this is a time where if Walker Buehler was healthy, this man would be, commanding a 7-year, $200 million contract. At least that's what it would be. But times have changed. And Walker Buehler isn't quite the same pitcher that we've seen in the past. But he is still, as we saw in the postseason, there's still something there. There still might be a lot there. This is, he's year 2 of coming back from Tommy John. And he's recovering. It's still in some ways a little bit of a recovery, but and it's not physical always, it's mental. What can you do? What can you pitch with? What's going to get those outs? It used to be, I'm able to, come in with 99 and, with something coming up in the zone. But now maybe it's a curveball, as we saw it to the batters against the Yankees. Maybe it's, something else. And we're going to, the stats, they're ugly. 16 starts, 75 innings, 89 hits. What was that? 16 home runs, only 64 strikeouts. You look back at 2021 and 207 innings, he had 212 strikeouts, only gave up 149 hits, and only walked 52 batters. 5.38 ERA this year versus 2.47. Things have changed, obviously. And even, as we start heading over to the Baseball Savant page, taking a look at, these percentiles, they're not very good. Even though his fastball velocity is up there higher, but his overall information was not good. And you know what? It's kind of that is what it is, but you also have to factor in what he did in the postseason. And what he did in the postseason is different. So we're going to take a quick look at we'll look at his division series stats. And we're only going to look at this year. So remember, he had that start against the Padres. He gave up 6 runs in 1 inning. Those shouldn't have happened. Maybe he gives up 2 if our defense plays normal baseball. There was some bad fielding decisions out there. So I'm not going on that one. Overall, at the same time, he didn't strike out anybody. So, and he gave up 7 hits, but most of those were in that 1 inning. He stayed in there and held it down, which helped preserve the bullpen. Remember, after this inning, the Dodgers didn't give up another run to the Padres for 24 innings. So it happened, but then you go, okay, let's go to the LCS. What'd he do? Oh. He had 1 start, pitched 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 walks, struck out 6, but no runs. Yeah, it would have been nice to be longer. Threw a lot of pitches there, 90 pitches. But that was the situation at the time. He was getting there. And then you go to the World Series. And what did he do in the World Series? Well, he's super important. 2 games, 1 start. Had a save, had a win. Threw 6 innings, gave up only 2 hits. And struck out 7 with 2 walks. So there's improvement. The Yankees are a good team, folks. He helped lock down Game 3 in New York. Hostile territory. A lot of our other pitchers didn't do so well in the hostile territory. Short porches, okay? So, given all the information, if you look at all the information, how did the Dodgers keep Walker Buehler? He loves it here too. We saw it. He loves to be in Los Angeles. He loves to be a Dodger. We saw him working out in the off season. He was at the stadium all off season. Not all, but once past Christmas, he was there all the time. Him, Luxie, and Shohei. Once he got there, he was there. Walker Buehler works hard. He's an intelligent pitcher. He's understanding of things. So this is a guy that you go, well, he's a Dodger legend. All right. He is Walker effing Buehler. From his 7-inning start against the Red Sox in 2018 to, he did so well against the Nationals in 2019. I'm going to take a quick look at that because I think it's important. That was the division series in 2019. 2 starts, 12.2 innings, gave up 1 run. And he had that Game 5. That should be a 2-0. Okay. World Series. The dude's thrown 19 innings in the World Series. And he's given up not much. 1 earned run. 7 hits. The moment doesn't get away from him. This team is built to win World Series. That's the goal. You can have guys and carry them along, and we'll talk about some other players like that too. Some guys, you just go, hey, the regular season is just a warm-up. Now, we might get a really good Walker Buehler, but we're also, with all these pitchers, as we know, pitchers break. We have to take that into account. We also have to take into account that, and I think Walker Buehler knows this, that, when they pitched him on short rest in 2021, they cost him a lot of value. So, he has not made the big money yet. But maybe this is the time. Maybe he can work a little compromise on this issue with the Dodgers. where there's definitely some incentives. The Dodgers can make a qualifying offer. Maybe they will. I don't know. That's a good question. And I'm sure he'd take it. Or maybe they go, yeah, we're going to make the QO. Or before we make the QO or whatever, we're going to put out there a choice. We're going to either put the qualifying offer on you, which will stop teams from signing him, or at least slow them down. Or they go, oh, here, let's work out a nice 2+1 contract. That's 2 years with options, lots of incentives. And the incentives need to be not, oh, you win a Cy Young. No, the incentives need to be you're available, availability type things. With some things, if you think, of course, you win a Cy Young, get something else. But it could be a very incentive-laden contract with easy incentives as long as he's healthy, with a good base guarantee. I'm going to say, 2 years, 20+ million with a ton of incentives. So he's guaranteed $20 million over the 2 years. Where the +1 is easily attainable based on his health. Based on he can go out and pitch. He's able to, keep a starting rotation spot. Or maybe it's something like where he finishes the last season, available and makes 10 starts, post All-Star break or something like that. Things like that. They can do this. And then that one would be a nice contract with him to have the option of not wanting it, but just give him a chance to earn some of that money that he should have earned. So if you could a base, like I said, 2 year 20 million or 2 year 30 million, something like that, with a lot of easy incentives so that it could easily turn out to be, a $25 million contract per year based on just being a good pitcher again. Those are some things that I think they have to look at. Because, man, this is totally my, feelings about it. You want Walker Buehler a Dodger. He is a Dodger. Let's keep him in Dodger blue for as long as we can. Number 21 is legendary. Legendary on that mound in the World Series. He got us there, in 2021 or 2020 is when he gave up 1 run and gave up 0 in 24 and 2018. So he's a special one. Walker Buehler. And this is we'll have more on our continuing series of It's Not My Money. And as always, God bless and go Dodgers.